Hello, welcome to Geology 1005 Natural Disasters at Illinois Valley Community College. I'm your instructor, Mike Phillips. My contact information is on here. Probably the best way to contact me during the semester is via email. And also, we'll talk in a few minutes about Blackboard, so there's some good ways to contact me in Blackboard as well. The course information, everything you need is in Black. However, you can also access all the information for the class on my website. Some of the other stuff that we're going to do in the class is not available on my website. That's Blackboard only. But the kind of the basic core course information is available on my webpage. So let's take a look at the class. The course goals are to explore a variety of natural disasters and to analyze the role and impact of science on identifying and planning for natural disasters. And really what we want you to do in this semester is think very critically about how these hazardous processes work and how you can deal with them, how you can live with them. So one of the things you're probably wondering is what is graded. We will have weekly discussions over the course of the semester. There will be 11 of these discussions that are graded at 10 points each. When you have completed the discussion at the end of the week, you will submit homework, which is your answers to the discussion questions in your own words, kind of your summary of what you learned for the week. And that weekly homework will be worth 20 points. So for 11 of our weeks, we'll have the discussion and the homework for 10 and 20 points. There are no exams in this class. There are 2 term projects that we'll talk about in a little bit more detail on the next slide. So in the term projects, at midterm and then at the end of the semester, so this is basically your midterm exam and your final exam, you are going to discuss a natural hazard and how it impacts the area where you live or an area where you might like to live. And we'll get into this in a lot more detail when we get to the midterm. There's a lot of detailed information, and you can find that in Blackboard as well. But to keep it short here, you're going to do a paper with figures and references and also submit 4 to 8 PowerPoint slides. I give you lots of guidance on how to do this, but the idea is that it's application. So you can apply what you're learning in class to the real world. So for example, your report might be on tornadoes in Ottawa, or it could be on hurricanes in Miami, or earthquakes in San Francisco, or wildfires near Los Angeles, or flooding in LaSalle, Peru. So you can keep it local. You can think about a place where you might like to live. And your second project will simply have to be a different natural hazard. You can use the same town twice if you want, or you can use different towns, but each project has to be a different hazard. The other thing I'll say is that the first project, after you submit it at midterm, I will grade it and return it, and you can revise and resubmit for a brand new grade. So it won't be like an average grade or anything. It'll be a completely new grade. It won't be lower than the original, but you'll have the opportunity to revise and resubmit by the end of the semester. So if you don't like the grade on the midterm, if you're confused about something, you'll be able to redo it. So what we're going to spend most of the semester doing is discussing various topics, and we're going to use Blackboard as the venue to do this. So on Sunday of the week, although this week's a little different because we start a bit early, but most weeks on Sunday, the new topic will show up live in Blackboard. It'll have questions for homework and discussion. There will be resources, something for you to read in the textbook and things to link to on the internet. There will also be a slide presentation very much like this. Sunday through Saturday, so for the whole week, you're going to explore the topic. You're going to use the textbook, the web resources, the slides that I put up, and very important, you're going to discuss it in your group in Blackboard. So you get the whole week to discuss the questions for the week in Blackboard. And then on Sunday, you're going to submit your final answer to me. So basically, you get to talk to other students about the homework questions and then decide what you want to put and submit that to me. So how do you explore a topic? Well, you take a look at the textbook. We'll have a reading assignment. The web is going to have some recommended links. And the first 2 weeks, this week we're going to talk about how you navigate and are successful in an online course, an online environment. Next week, we're going to talk about how science examines these natural hazardous processes. And then after that, each week we will discuss a hazard. So the first hazard we'll discuss will be week 3. That'll be earthquakes. Week 4 is volcanoes. Week 5 is floods, and so on after that. And once we get to the weekly hazards, the questions each week will be the same. There'll be questions about how the hazard works and how it should be addressed. And so you'll get into a pattern of discussing, and then you can compare the different hazards and how they work and their impacts and how they can be addressed. So that's how the semester is going to go. Very, very important part of this class is discussing the topic in Blackboard. So the requirement is that you post on at least 3 different days. It's not a discussion if you come in and make 3 posts on Saturday evening. It is a discussion if you come in and post on Monday. Some people reply to your post. On Wednesday, you come in and reply to those replies, maybe ask some more questions. On Friday or Thursday, you come in and do some more. The more you post, the better you will do in this class. It'll help your understanding. It'll help your group members, and you'll get more points. So if you want the minimum points, you got to post on 3 different days. And then if you do more than that, then you can earn more. So your group will be on Blackboard. I've already created the groups. If people add or drop the class, I will swap out group members. But the group that you're in now is the group that you'll probably be in for the entire semester. So get to know the folks in your group and have a robust conversation. The first few weeks of the semester, I will start the conversations. But then as the semester goes on, I will leave it up to you and the folks in your group to do that. And that first post, when you start a thread in the discussion area, that counts as a post. So that's kind of the easiest thing to do. You can actually grab one of the questions for discussion, make it a post, and that counts. So that's just copying me. That's pretty easy. And then over the course of the week, you reply. So just more generally, the Blackboard setup, you'll find announcements. When I post an announcement in Blackboard, I will email it, so that will show up in your IVCC email box. Keep an eye out for those. But if you lose one or feel like you missed one or something, they're all retained on the first page you see when you go into the class in Blackboard. If you look under course information, you'll find just some general information about the course requirements, grading information, how I grade the discussion board. There's actually a link to the term project information. So if you really want to look at that, you don't have to wait for midterm. That's already available under course information. Course documents, new documents will show up each week. So course documents, that's where you will find the weekly questions for discussion and the links to information and what you should read in the textbook, etc. That's under course documents. And then at the end of the week on Sunday, and some people will submit their homework a little early, there's an assignment Dropbox. So the Dropbox for the week's homework will show up on Thursday because I don't want you submitting your answer early. I want you to discuss that answer. And so the Dropbox opens up on Thursday. You can complete your homework and submit it anytime after that. Even if you want to change it, you can actually go into the Dropbox and alter it and resubmit. That's fine. But that's where you leave your homework, and that's where you'll leave your term project. And then, of course, there's the discussion board, which we already mentioned. Two other areas beside the group discussion. There is a place where you can ask me general questions about the class. Do not ask me about your grade there. That's a question for email. And then the coffee house is just a place to have casual conversation with other folks in the class. So if you want to know who's who and what they're up to, you can post those things in the coffee house. And of course, Blackboard has the grade book as well, so you can keep up to date on where you are grade-wise in the course. So, if you want to get a hold of me for a private discussion, or if Blackboard's not working for submitting homework, for some reason you can't make the Dropbox work, you should email me directly at mike_phillips@ivcc.edu. So that's kind of for a private discussion if you got questions about your grade or something like that. That's not something we would post on the discussion board. That's where you want to use this email, or some other type of kind of personal private discussion. When you get an email via Blackboard, you do not want to respond to that directly. You want to make sure you're responding to me at mike_phillips@ivcc.edu. We don't want emails that with personal information going to the entire class. So you want to just be a little careful about that. So the discussion concludes on Saturday. Because this is the first week, it's a little longer, so it's not this immediate Saturday, it's like in a week. So you get a whole week for discussion. And then homework, but after that, every week on Saturday, I will close the discussion board, and then your homework is due by 11:59 p.m. on the Sunday that follows that Saturday. So you got another day to work on your homework. And you want to put that in the Dropbox. And like I said, if the Dropbox isn't working for some reason, just feel free to email that directly to me. So our first topic, our first week, is how will you succeed in this class? And what you want to do is develop a plan for successful completion of this course. It should include a weekly schedule that includes time set aside for reading, working online, and completing assignments. Having a weekly schedule doesn't mean that you have to do that every week, but it's definitely a good foundation at the beginning of the semester. You want to have a brief discussion of any obstacles you have to success. So you'd want to say what they are, and then what you're going to do to take care of those obstacles. So if it's scheduling, how are you going to make that work? So a brief discussion means you're doing both sides. You're saying what the obstacle is and how you plan to address it. And then the third thing in this homework submission is going to be a brief discussion of what you plan to gain from completing the course. And we've got a couple discussion threads already going in Blackboard. So you want to find your group and kind of post in there and get the discussion going. And the discussion in Blackboard is not just you answering the question, it's you responding to what other people have posted and also asking them questions about the things that they posted or things that you're curious about. So if you haven't had an online class and other people have, they can give you some advice on how to answer some of these questions. So that's what we mean by having that discussion. And so that's it. I will see you in Blackboard, and see, of course, is not really see, but I'll read about you in Blackboard. I check in almost every day. And if the discussion kind of slows down, I might come in and pose a question or something to get it restarted. But within a week or two of the semester, we should see some robust discussions in all of the groups. So that's it. If you have questions, you can post them in Blackboard, either in your group discussion if that's appropriate, or under Ask Mr. Phillips if it's kind of a broad question about how the class works. And of course, you can email me as well. So that's it for this PowerPoint presentation.